Extremely odd indeed. I hope you enjoyed the little trip Unity just sent you on, which makes it slightly more trippy. Yeah, very weird. Wait, is that smoke? Oh lads, it has been a hot minute since my last proper upload. Well, guess what? I am back. As I have college and other stuff to work on, that is why my upload consistency is, a little bit rough at the moment. But here we are with another video. If you enjoyed today's video and you're new here, please do subscribe as the road to 1K is well underway. Time to jump into today's video. Also, very quickly, make sure to join the new and improved Discord server as the last one got deleted by Discord. Link in the description. Unity is a game engine that is used by many across the globe, and I'm sure we have all seen a dreaded crash error at one point or another in our careers as developers, and they are definitely the last thing you want to see when you're in the middle of a big project. Oh, for fun. It is super annoying when you lose work or you're just in a bad mood, but what if we actually want a crash? Is it possible to actually tell Unity to kick the bucket and close without actually closing it? Well, today we are going to find out. I've actually found it quite hard to find multiple different ways to warrant a crash, but I think I found a good selection that is definitely worth it to show in a video. I do want to say that a few parts of this video were inspired by the YouTuber Jonas Tyrola. I think that's how you say his name. So please go and subscribe to him. His content is absolutely class for game developers. Now, some methods in today's video don't technically cause Unity to crash, but do make it just either unplayable or just completely break the game to the point where you just wish it did crash, really. And a clear example of that is a tiny little drop down in the camera settings of Unity known as disable clearing. Now, the clear flags in Unity essentially define what the camera is rendering and what is not. And I use this in my current FPS project in which I have a second camera for rendering a weapon, so it doesn't clip through objects as you're walking. But there is an option to not have anything to be cleared. Now, why would you want this in a game? I have no idea, to be honest, but here we are. I'm just going to turn this on and yeah, let's see if your eyes can hold up to this. Extremely odd indeed. I hope you enjoyed the little trip Unity just sent you on. I challenge one of you to make a game with this setting on and send it to me, please. Now, a classic way of giving Unity the boot is something known as an infinite loop, which is basically a loop that is, and essentially you can just define a statement outside of the loop and inside the loop have the statement be the same, thus making it infinite, I guess. Due to it being endless and taking up endless memory, Unity just decides nope and just decides to leave the situation and freezes for eternity. Once we save this and head back in, upon pressing the play button, you can see this is true, and good old Unity just uses the time stone to freeze forever. Now, I will say, don't try this on your main project or at work or anything, as it could actually damage your files, but luckily I couldn't give a toss about this project, so that is why I created a loop here. Let's move on to the next one. Now, the next method doesn't technically give an actual error message, but it certainly does overload Unity very quickly to the point where, like before, Unity just decides it wants absolutely no part in these shenanigans and leaves without telling us. And the highly intricate, advanced method we will be using now is just spawning an absolute ton of things at once, and by a lot I mean a lot. Like in the millions area, a lot. Now, if you remember, a few months ago, I done a little Among Us funny kind of video about procedural generation, and that is going to be the project we use for this one. Basically, in a small area, a ton of the same object is spawned in as many times as we want, and the limit before it begins to lag tends to be in the 100,000 mark. But that is not enough. Let's try 100 million. Jesus, that is a massive number. But yeah, that did seem to do it, yeah. Bye Unity, I will see you never, I guess, yeah. The next method is another one of those that doesn't actually crash Unity, it just makes it unplayable and it just hurts your brain to the point of no return. If you can complete a game like this, then I take my hat off to you. This method actually came from trying to crash Unity with having loads of cameras, but as you can see that didn't work. I guess my PC is just so good, lol. I'm joking by the way. it takes 5 minutes to boot up, but that is besides the point. After that, I tried having multiple cameras that are actually facing each other, and just that alone, you can imagine the paradox this creates. Oh, you're not sure yet? Oh, well, see for yourself. It is quite horrible and slightly fascinating. Yeah, it is a weird one, I can't lie. But yeah, it's cool nevertheless. I then added another 2 cameras to form a kind of a square shape, which makes it slightly more trippy. Yeah, very weird, but thought I'd include it just because it is quite funny. Anyway, there is a very easy way to cause Unity to close without actually closing it inside the software. You know I can't not include a little bit of task manager business. Right, moving on to the next one. The final project we will be in for the remainder of the video is my FPS project. And don't worry, this is just a copy of this project, not the actual one. We are just going to try and overload the scene with random stuff to try and bring the frame rate to a complete unplayable state. So firstly, more grass with higher density and a much larger render distance paired alongside more detailed lighting and high resolutions for light maps managed to halve the FPS to about 150. Now obviously this is playable and you can probably tell by now that is not the goal of the video. Right, time to take this up a notch and grab an absolute ton of trees and plant those in. Excuse the pun. Better, much better. We're now down to around 7 FPS, but we can do better. Well, technically worse, but you get the point. Right, more trees. Better again, now around 3 FPS. But I think that is still a little bit too many. I think it is time we put this thing to bed and prove who's boss, which is clearly not my PC. I added an inhumane amount of extra grass and other foliage to the point where the editor started bugging out and giving up on me. I then hit the play button and yeah, on that note, I think it's time my PC needs a rest. It deserves it. Wait, is that smoke? Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe. The road to 1K is well underway and I'd massively appreciate it. Lads, I'll thank you all very much for watching today's video and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.